Join us as we look at the freedom of right-sizing. We will give you some items to help you in this journey, and it's not an easy journey of getting rid of our things and looking at how we live in our home. So big realities, bigger isn't always better. Remember those days, big hair, big phones, the big gulp, the computer, and the muscle boy. So I'd like to share with you a little bit about my experiences living in small spaces. Most of my adult life I have lived in Chicago and New York City, and living in the city teaches you kind of the philosophy we use here at Willow Valley, that our home is kind of our bedroom and the rest of the city is our community where we interact with. And that's kind of how it works here at Willow Valley. So we'll have a little bit of a historical overview. How did we get here? So we have supersized the American home. In 1950, the average square footage of our home was under 1,000 square feet. I don't know about you, but I was a child of the 60s. I grew up in a Cape Cod. We had one bathroom, 3 bedrooms, boys in one, girls in the other. And we all made it work. Nowadays, everybody has their own bedroom. They have their own bathroom. The other thing that's interesting, the household size, the single person household was 9.4%. That's very small. So we've supersized our homes, and the average square footage now is over 2,600 square feet. And the number of single-family households has gone from 9.4 to 27.9%. So what we see as our household gets smaller, our homes get bigger. So in 1973, the average home was 1,600 square feet versus 2,600 now. And what's interesting, in 1973, the 2 children, mom and dad, and in 2015, 1 child with parents. So we have gone from 570 square feet per person to over 1,000 square feet per person. So if I asked you today, where do you live in your space? Most of you would say, our family room, kitchen. And this diagram shows us where we live in our space. And 90% of our time, we live in 30% of our home, regardless if it's 6,000 square feet or it's 500 square feet. So we'd like to talk a little bit about intentional living, and what does that mean? So for each one of us, it's thinking about how we live your life. For me, I'm a cyclist, so I want to live a lifestyle where it's very easy for me on weekends to get my bike down. I don't want to have a lot of doing outdoor work. I want to get my 100 miles in on that Saturday and Sunday. And that's important for me and how I live my life. It's also important understanding how we live in our space. And we all live in our space differently. Think about where you spend your time in the day. And I always tell people, when you move into a new space, don't set it up completely right away, because a lot of times it takes us a while to settle in and get a routine in our home. So are our possessions holding us back? I would say yes. This is a little bit of an exaggeration, but really it's very overwhelming. And I know a lot of us, when it comes to thinking about getting rid of things, it kind of paralyzes us. I came back east to help my mom and dad move. I thought it would take 5 years. They moved in a year. But they had a nice big horse farm. They had been at this place for over 15 years. And my mom was paralyzed by all the things in the home. And so I said to Mom, why don't you start with 1 room a day? And what we're going to do is we're going to do a half an hour a day. And if you can do more, great. But don't put a big goal that if you don't meet it, you feel depressed. So start with a room, and we have the 4 piles. 1 pile is you get rid of stuff. The 2nd pile you're taking with you. The 3rd pile is for your kids to come and pick it up. And the 4th pile is to look at the 3 piles all over again. And as you do that in each room, it gets easier and easier. And what we find is take it in small steps instead of large steps. And as we get these small goals, we can go further and further. So we also want to have experiences and services versus material things. And I talk about my parents a lot. They just celebrated 60 years of marriage. And they did a trip to Iceland to celebrate 60 years instead of having a material thing. And one of the things we're doing in our family is giving experiences and services for holidays and birthdays instead of giving material things. So, we're at the phase of life, basically when you're over 50, When we were young, it was about accumulating things, and those things made us happy. But as we get older, those things hold us back in enjoying life. So we have freedom through right sizing. And when you choose to collect experiences rather than things, you never ever run out of storage space. So at Willow Valley here, we look at as our community is an extension of your home. And we're at a great location in that Lancaster is in the middle of the Northeast corridor. You have your home at Willow Valley. Your apartment is your bedroom, kind of, and the community is the rest of your home. We have over 12 dining venues here. There's places to have family gatherings. Do you really need a dining room when we have 11 areas for dinners and special spaces, guest rooms? We also take it one step further. We've got downtown Lancaster. That's an extension of your home. And then we have Amtrak, which is a great option to get you connected. For example, a lot of people that live here at Willow Valley and myself take the train from Lancaster down to the airport in Philadelphia. We use that to get around on the Northeast extension here. So thinking of that, it can take you to New York, Boston, Wilmington, Delaware, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. So our space has really grown. Some of our amenities here is our cultural center, and this is an extension of your home. Our cultural center has a theater for over 500 people. We have an art area and gallery. We also have ballrooms that can be broken down into smaller spaces, but a lot of great areas for interacting. We also have a spa. Our clubhouse is a great option for you to interact with your family. We have a place for gathering with friends, intergenerational activities. We have a great bowling alley, pinball machines, outdoor pool, ice cream shop, and then upstairs we have a fine dining for social opportunities. So less is more. What does that mean? Making small space work for you. So one of the things about small space working for you is that you keep things hidden, as you can see in these examples here. Also having a compact kitchen. Let's look at how space is laid out and not square footage. A lot of times we get caught up with square footage and how much square footage you have. My friend rented an apartment while his home was being built in Miami, and he had this beautiful apartment, but it was big square footage, but he had an incredible foyer that you couldn't live in. And even though the entrance was grand, it made the rest of the one-bedroom apartment very small, and his square footage looked very big, but it wasn't necessary. So a lot of times we need to look at how space is laid out. Another important thing is to look at compact kitchens. How big a kitchen do we really need when we have 12 dining venues here? And down the road, how much cooking will we really be doing? Another key thing is to have multi-use furniture. One of my favorite stores in New York City is the Resource Furniture Company up on 2nd and 58th Street. New Yorkers know how to live in small spaces, and if you look at their homes, they always have pieces of furniture that have different uses. And we have one here that looks like a coffee table, but it can also make a dining room table and can expand and seat more people. 10 essentials for smaller homes: nesting tables, large mirrors, floating shelves, ottoman, hanging storage, baskets, rolling carts, boxes, underbed storage, and hanging coat racks. Also, look at laundry rooms. We can have them at multi-use space. And some more examples of multi-use furniture. I love how the bar cart can be art, but it can also be moved around the room. Using a basket to put towels in. We also have here washer and dryer below, and then knickknacks above. And we can't forget the Murphy bed. If you remember Love American Style and the bed always flipping up, how often do you need a study? You can have a study and also make it be a guest bedroom. So there's a lot of great options out there. We're also seeing that tables can be used as offices also, so having many different uses. Accessories are important. Show off those collections you've had. Bring them with you and incorporate them into your home. Old plates on the wall, bringing your artwork. Also looking at better accessories in the bathroom, stylish. You can also see using an old shutter as artwork above your headboard, knickknacks being displayed above your toilet, and then bookcases, open and closed. They're a great option to showcase your books, store things. And then we've got the ironing board that flips down, or all those great art pieces, family photos. Get them framed and show them on the walls so that it tells the story of your life. And then also we have outdoor space. I know we don't live in Florida and Arizona, but we do have a lot of months outside, and think of that as part of your home also. Also, community space throughout the campus. The fire pit, the local table bar, the indoor track, and just sitting areas throughout the community. Another key point is organization. Closet organizers. For every new piece you buy, you get rid of something. Hidden space, using the back of doors, and storage lockers for out-of-season items. One of the things I think we forget about, here at Willow Valley, everyone has a large storage locker. When you live in New York City and Chicago, our storage lockers were 3 feet wide, maybe 3 feet deep, and 3 feet high. Well, here at Willow Valley, our storage lockers go the whole way to the ceilings. And it's interesting how people use their storage lockers for different uses. Out-of-season clothes, Christmas decorations, a lot of options there. The other thing we're seeing too is we're seeing a lot of cool things happening with closets and how we each make our closets work for us. Another thing, I love the Container Store. They have magazine racks that are great to put on the back of your door, and you can use that to have gloves, suntan lotion, whatever, personalizing it for your use. We have a picture here of shelves, and in this one closet, we used it as a laundry room. You can see the mirror there, the stool, and then also, this was a place where I lived. These are bookshelves. This was the pile of stuff that my mom had me pick up at her house when they were moving. It's childhood, my horse collection, and some old toys, and we use that as art to tell the story of my life. So this is from the Container Store, a place for everything and everything in its place. That's the secret of living in smaller spaces. And just some examples here of how we can organize. 10 principles to clear clutter. Stop the flow of stuff coming in. Declutter at least one item a day. Declutter the easy stuff first. Put a disposal plan in place. Decide not to keep things out of guilt or obligation. Do not be afraid to let go. Gifts do not have to be material, like we talked about, having services and experiences. Do not over-equip our homes. How many measuring cups do we really need? Do not declutter things that are not yours without the owner's permission. This is key to a happy relationship. And also, do not waste life on clutter. So we're going to have a case study here about my home. I live in 550 square feet in downtown Lancaster. So we're going to show you a little bit of my home. It's really 3 rooms. And the first room here is my great room. It's a kitchen, dining, and living room. I'm a cyclist. You can see I have my racing bike up on the ceiling. It forces me to keep it clean. I use it as artwork. I also have a lot of cupboards, and it's amazing, even though I don't cook, I have a lot of things stored in those cupboards. I have a recessed corner over there where that was wasted space, so what I had shelves built to display photographs of family and friends. So showing my life, I have a little desk there that hides a lot of things, and a great coffee table that is great for hiding things, but also serves as a dining area that I can eat at. My dining room table can be an office and also a place to entertain company. One of the things of living in smaller spaces is to remember where you keep everything, keep it organized. And this is an example of a mail holder, but also has a magnet in it that you can throw your keys. I'm one of those people, if I don't keep my keys in the same spot, they get lost. So it's nice just to throw that up there. I've got my bills waiting to go out in the mail. So it helps me be organized when you're in small spaces. Here's another view from the room from the other direction, using bookcases. Also, you'll notice a bedroom dresser in there. I have the TV on top of that, and then also store some out-of-season clothes in those dressers. Also, I have a washer and dryer in that room. It also is home for the kitty, the litter box, and where kitty eats. And you also see my housekeeping, my ironing board, and some more of those magazine racks to put storage in. You can see my bedroom here. It's very small, but it works. One of the things I had on my wall was a fuse box. So what I did, I got a towel rack and displayed one of these old quilts. And having moved here from Chicago, this is a quilt from a Mark Shale factory that was suit samples. So it's kind of nice to have that with me here in Pennsylvania, covering up the fuse box. When you also don't have hair, you need place to hang your hats. So making sure your closet is organized. One of the things, because my closet is so tiny, I have a rack that I got at the Container Store that I put on the back of my door, and those are the things I access all the time. Now, my bathroom is really bigger than I really need, but what we did, it did not have a medicine cabinet, so I went to the outlet here in Lancaster at the Pottery Barn and got this damaged medicine cabinet for $100. Put paper on the back to make it look nice, got glass, made shelves, and had a great area to store things above the toilet. Also put family pictures on the wall. Some people might think it's weird to have grandma look at you when you get out of the shower, but it doesn't bother me. And it shows the family history and who I am. We also can't forget outdoor space. I have a small outdoor porch. You'll see a ladder with tin buckets, and that's my herb garden there. I also have some tomatoes growing. I have chairs that can be used. I also have the red thing there is a table that pulls out, and you can have a little cafe in the morning. So multi-use space. So the lessons we've learned, whether you live in 6,000 square feet and going down or from 500, 90% of the time we live in 30% of our home. We need to think about how we live our life. Are our things holding us back? And we need to have experiences and services versus possessions. And multi-use space and furniture. So today, we've developed a pamphlet that talks about just what we talked about today. And what we found, people were coming back 2 or 3 times to see our presentation. And so what we did, we developed this informational piece to kind of highlight what we talked about today. And this is something you have to look at. And if you're interested, feel free to give us a call. We'd be glad to get this to you. It also won an award that we're real proud of for design. Thanks for your time, and good luck getting rid of things as you right size. And it is not easy, but in the long run, once you get to the other side, you'll be glad you do it. Thank you, and good luck on your journey.